Hey there, I'm Veronica Isles. Thank you for joining me today. Let's talk about the magical secret to getting someone to do exactly what you want. This is a technique that I love to talk about because people are involved in all of our manifestations. And the cool thing is that manifesting this has everything to do with changing you, not them. So I want you to approach this from a place of keeping an open mind about your assumptions of self, not about thinking, how do I get someone to change their mind or do something different or feel a different way about me or suddenly want to hire me. It's more about changing yourself. And when you change yourself, all things fit into place. It really is that simple. Has nothing to do with changing them and everything to do with changing you. I actually developed a course which I'm really proud of at studywithveronica.com. You can also enroll in my free course there. There is a course called Get Someone to Do What You Want. And this has nothing to do with control or manipulation or overriding someone's free will. It has everything to do with how you feel about the world, how you believe these people to be in your life. How do you think they show up? So let's just take that one person in question, the one that you especially want to do something. Maybe it's a love relationship, a business relationship, your boss you want to raise. You want that promotion. You want to heal things with your brother or your family member. Okay, let's do it. So the interesting thing is that all of the people in our life, the way they show up, we are, whether we realize it or not, imagining the people in our life to show up in a particular way. Now, we usually base these assumptions on how they have acted before in the past. So if you have a good relationship right now with someone, you expect that good relationship to continue. If you've had a falling out with someone, you tend to fixate on that and to fear and worry that it's going to last that way forever. Now, it's important to say that there's some relationships that are more vulnerable to our heart, to our emotions, to our fears. For example, love relationships. If you're truly in love with your partner, you might be afraid that they are somehow going to tire of you, that they're going to want to be with someone else, that they're going to let you down or frustrate you. Or maybe it's like a big client, a big high-powered client that you want to continue to employ you to use your services. So you worry that they could potentially find someone else that's better, cheaper, provides more efficient work. So we tend to get vulnerable to these particular relationships that are more important to us. These people that we tend to label as, the ones we tend to have fear and worry about. Now, this isn't to say that fear and worry manifest the opposite, because merely having a fear or a doubt or a moment of vulnerability, that isn't going to be what seals the deal in changing this relationship. And you could apply this for better or for worse. So the relationship is going to change based on your dominant perceptions of what you think this person is going to be in your life. And all of the people in our life, down to these random encounters, established relationships, family relationships, we base these assumptions, these ideas on how these people have acted before in the past. Like we tend to manifest the future based on the past. But the great secret is your future can actually be based on anything. And you can actually assume these relationships to be different in your life. You can assume these people to show up in new ways. You can assume these people to wow you, even if they never have before. You can assume someone to apologize to you. You can assume someone to give you a gift, to shower you with kindness, compliments. Like you can assume the people in your life to show up in any possible way. And the amazing thing is that you can base this on anything that you want. I would always manifest from a place of love and from a place of harmony within a relationship. I would not manifest someone to kind of like purposely worship the ground you walk on so you can treat them like crap. Like that would not be a very good manifestation, in my opinion. I feel like trying to aim for something like that would simply backfire. So remember, we're all kind of part of the same substance. So the golden rule, do unto others as you would have done unto you. It is that simple. So I'm trying to get you to use this technique for good, not for evil. Because if you try to use it in a bad way, from an ego-based desire, from a selfish point of view, it will in fact backfire. So I'm going to prove to you that this works because I want you to take note of your assumptions about the people in your life. And you will realize that right now you have an idea of what you think this person is going to be right now to you, how they're going to be in the future, and what your predominant ideas are. Not necessarily what you want. Like maybe you're dating someone and you really want them to ask you to marry them, but they haven't yet, and it feels like a struggle, and it feels like they don't really want this, but you desire this and you wish this could happen, but it doesn't feel natural to their personality. You don't necessarily imagine them doing this. So in this example, you would switch your awareness towards this idea of this person potentially also wanting it too, and just sort of disrupting this idea instead of clear cut, feeling like they oppose something that you desire. Now, in this particular example, for example, desiring something that someone just isn't giving you right now, like within a relationship, and you want to get married, but this other person has just told you time and time again they're not the marrying kind. Well, you may know, and even maybe had this happen to you before, but maybe a guy that has said this to you and then breaks up with you and then marries the next girl they date. I'm sure you've heard a story like this before, and you're like, oh God, why did that happen? And it has everything to do with self-concept. So this idea of manifesting someone to do exactly what you want, there is another component to it, and that is your sense of self. So when I gave the example of having someone marry you, do you believe that you're worth this? So it has to do with your deep down faith and conviction on what can be possible. And you could even just pose the possibility, yes, they could want this, because everyone, desires to be with a mate, to be with a companion. So you kind of disrupt your current assumptions. The point I was trying to make before is that we're always doing this naturally with everyone in our life already. You could try to think about how you assume people to be, and they usually show up in the way that you assume them to be. And for example, when something goes wrong in a relationship, a lot of times you hear someone say, I was afraid this was going to happen, or I felt this sense of doom before this happened, before they broke up with me, or I felt like it was too good to be true. So the way people show up, it's expected, in a sense, and it has to do with your deep down convictions and what you imagine them to do, what you think they want, and also your sense of self. Now, I do a deep dive into all of these concepts, including videos in my course, Get Someone to Do What You Want, which has everything to do with your feelings of self, how you assume people to show up in your life, and also what you think that you are worth. So there's so many different components to this. I barely scratched the surface. But the point is that people are involved in all of our manifestations. There is no reason why you cannot have harmonious interactions with everyone in your life, and why you can't fix any broken relationship. I don't care if it's a love relationship, or if it's a friendship that went bad 25 years ago, or you're trying to reconnect with someone who you dated in high school. Like, any of these things are possible. How are you imagining them right now in their life? Do you imagine them thinking of you, missing you, desiring the same things as you, or do you imagine them completely oblivious to you, not caring? Again, that goes down to self-concept. Are you someone who is unforgettable? Do you see yourself in this way? Would you contact you after an absence of 25 years? I hope this video gave you a lot to think about, because you can change your outcomes. People are involved in all manifestations. I'm wishing you the very best. Enroll, studywithveronica.com, and get my newest course there. Get someone to do exactly what you want. I know you will love it, and I know it will change your life. Have a blessed day. May all of your dreams come true.